The horseshoe is back.
What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice, here to recap day 18 of training camp, and it was a good day for the Indianapolis Colts. First off, starting off with a couple guys the Colts waived today. They waived tight end Andrew Vollert, defensive tackle Joey Ivy, and linebacker Sky Moore. They did this today on Monday, but the big news of training camp today was the return of the big three. Carson Wentz returned, Quentin Nelson returned, and Ryan Kelly returned today. They all moved at full speed during individual drills. And it looks like the Colts have had some bad luck with injuries early on in camp. Looks like they're starting to finally get some help with some of these guys returning. The cavalry is finally starting to come again, which is great to see. And in this practice, specifically at quarterback, Carson Wentz was the clear-cut starter. Jacob Eason was a clear-cut backup, which I thought is interesting, considering I felt like neither of these guys on Saturday night really helped themselves in any way in terms of pushing the needle one way or the other in terms of the quarterback battle. But today, Eason was the clear-cut backup guy, and that was definitely interesting. And I thought Wentz today, from what I heard, he looked really, really good. He moved really well. And the offense looked noticeably better with him under center. Shouldn't come as much of a surprise, as the Colts offense has been kind of hot and cold in training camp, with Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger taking the majority of the starting reps with Wentz being out. But I thought that Wentz looked really good. He had a couple different videos come out of Wentz rolling out, looking really, really good, which is great to see. Didn't seem like that foot was bothering him at all after getting that surgery a few weeks ago. So that's great to see. For Carson Wentz, he took all the 7-on-7 starting reps, which is definitely significant. That's a lot more than I think anybody thought that he would. He had the full 7-on-7 work. He finished overall, in terms of all the 7-on-7 drills, he had some work in the red zone as well. He had a nice throw to Jack Doyle on a rollout to his right. But overall, he was 27 of 44 with touchdowns, a Doyle to Hilton and to Strawn. But he also had a deflected interception off the hands of Tyler Vaughns. But I thought overall, for not playing for 3-4 weeks, not practicing for 3 to 4 weeks, that's a good day for Carson Wentz. That's not bad at all. So obviously he's going to have to knock the rust off, but the fact that he was looking really, really good with his foot and movement, he wasn't just staying back there in the pocket, but he actually was on the move and looked good doing it, is great, great, great to see. And major improvement. And in terms of his recovery, so much more than I think anybody thought. I think a lot of reporters, people who were out there at camp, were really surprised at how much work Carson Wentz got on day one back from practice. So that was big. Sean Davis from Pittsburgh, he had a really good day today. He had 2 picks today in camp. He had one off of Jacob Eason, and Eason got the majority, or really all of the 11-on-11 starting reps, right? Some of the live action against the full team. Carson Wentz did not participate in that. That was the only thing he was really held out of. Besides that, he was a full go. So Jacob Eason, 7 of 11. He had 2 picks today, one to Okereke and one to Sean Davis. So not a great day for Eason. But yeah, I think the big news has to just stay with Carson Wentz and looking good so far. Did a lot more than expected on his first day back. And, he met with the media afterwards, and he said obviously he enjoyed being out there again. Like, who wouldn't enjoy after being out for multiple weeks? He said his goal is to, put a couple days in a row. He said he might not be out there every day. Some rest could be built upon. He said, whatever the trainers want me to do, the Colts obviously don't want to rush this, don't want to rush Carson Wentz right in there 100% all the practices. So he may take a couple days off here and there, but Carson Wentz said he's optimistic that he's going to be ready for week 1. I mean, there has been some debate. Was he going to be ready? Was he going to be more of a week 2, week 3 thing? I think today in this practice, it showed me that Carson Wentz, there's a more realistic option, I think, than I previously thought, and I think a lot of people previously thought about his availability in week number 1. He looked really good today. He did a lot more than anybody expected. So Carson Wentz week 1 is a very, very big possibility, I feel like now, even more than we thought initially. So Frank Reich even said as much. He said he was pleasantly surprised how quick Carson Wentz was out there and ready to roll. He thought it'd be another week at least, and Wentz is out here on a Monday, not even the end of the week. He's here at the beginning of the week looking as good as he did in terms of his injury, looking pretty well recovered up to this point. And Reich said as much. Like, he said he wanted to get consecutive days of work for Wentz. Obviously doesn't want to rush that back, so Wentz might have a day off or two. But those were the big things, guys, from this training camp. Has to be highlighted by Wentz, Nelson, and Kelly all being fully back, which is great to see. Maybe held out a little bit, but being back is huge for these guys. I mean, my goodness, how bad has this offensive line been without these two starters in there? And, Eric Fisher, you never know. He could be back week 1 as well. I don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe more week 2, week 3, week 4, somewhere in between there. But the Colts getting back 2 of their starting offensive linemen, probably 2 of their best linemen on this team, huge, huge, huge. So, guys, great day of camp for the Indianapolis Colts. And Derek and I are actually going to be out there tomorrow. So if any of you guys happen to be out there, we would love to catch you. We're going to be out there. We have a special opportunity to be out there, be in a suite, and it's awesome. Shout out to Keith for offering that to us. That's a great opportunity. We couldn't go a couple weeks ago because it got rained out. So fingers crossed that the weather looks good tomorrow. But guys, this is just a recap here from day number 1 here before the Colts' 3rd preseason game here coming up very soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all your support. Great news from the Wentz front. Great news getting back these 2 starters. Hopefully we get some better news here in terms of where we see these guys' recovery process. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.